It's the week of the Genesis. Welcome everyone to Tea Time. I'm Andy. That is Nick. Coming off of a correct prediction of Thomas Dietrich. No, nobody had Thomas Dietrich running away with the Phoenix Open. Sorry, we missed that one. Welcome, guys. We're gonna go over the Genesis. Strange event. You got to know that they're not playing this at the same course that they normally do. And that's going to be the very first thing that we talk about. Before we get into that, though, if you guys could hit the like button, leave us a comment, tell us who you like for this week. This is going to be a gnarly tournament. We've got bad weather. We've got a different venue, loaded field. This is going to be chaotic and should be a lot of fun here. So, all right, Nick, let's get into it. We are playing, Torrey Pines South Course again. It's deja vu. We talked about Torrey Pines and the South Course. It's long. The fairways are fairly narrow. The rough is grown out, and now it's going to be wet. And the weather is the big thing, right, Nick? You want to go over what the weather is going to look like this week?
Sure. I mean, as it stands now, of course, always subject to change, but rain Wednesday, obviously not a tournament round, but leading up to the tournament, Thursday and Friday. Wind up those first 2 days as well. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for these guys to get through those first couple of rounds. Wet, rough, too. You're talking, you hit the nail on the head, Andy. 4 inches. It was penalizing at the Farmers a few weeks ago. Remember, that was the first tournament. Harris English won at 8 under par. There was only 24 players that finished under par. And that was in a field of about, 156? And it included one round on the 2.5 stroke easier North Course. So this week, conditions are not as good as far as weather. The rough is going to be playing more difficult, and you got 4 rounds on the difficult course. I don't know. This is going to feel very U.S. Open like, and we know Torrey's hosted a U.S. Open, so we know it can play very, very tough. I think it's going to be a very true test of golf this week, which will be fun to watch. Most viewers like us like to watch when the guys are winning at 6, 7, 8 under par. So I think this is going to fall into that realm. But yeah, the weather does not look good. I don't know that it favors right now any certain draw advantage. There's only 72 players in the field, so the tee times aren't really spaced out dramatically for a huge swing from, morning to afternoon. But I guess we'll see maybe by later Wednesday when the hourlies and the timing of stuff comes out. But right now, I don't really see a huge advantage. I think it kind of works itself out over the first 2 days, but looks tough.
You might have a even par be the winning score.
Honestly, could.
I like this. This is going to be such a conundrum for these guys because there's not going to be any roll on the fairways. So it's like if you swing hard and you try and get distance because there's no roll, but you miss in the rough, now you're just absolutely screwed. But if you try and take it easy off the tee and go for accuracy, now you're left with a ridiculously long approach shot.
7,700 yards is long. It's the longest course they play all year. So you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, this is good. This is going to be brutal. And you're right. Don't forget those scores at the Farmers and the North Course. I keep forgetting about that tournament. They all get around on the really easy one. So this is going to be a difficult ask of these guys. So should be fun though. Don't think we're going to see a 24, 25 under like we did at the Phoenix Open. So, all right, let's go over the total strokes gained here. Nick does a great job on this chart every single week. You got your last 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, and then some notables. Walk us through about this chart and any takeaways that we can take from it.
Sure. I think the first thing to note here is the very top line, the green graphic, and the red, really. So this is a signature event. So as you can see there, the percentage of winners, 66% have ranked in this top 10 graphic over the previous 12 months leading up to it. And that goes back to the beginning of the 23 season. So we're now over 2 years. Pretty significant winning percentage. Now, listen, Scottie won, about half of those. So maybe they're jaded a little bit, but the point is that you get the best players in the world teeing it up. Generally, one of the best players will end up winning. When you only have, like we've seen last week, 3, 4, 5 of the best players in the world, well, then you can get somebody like a Dietrich to have a great week and beat them. But when it's this deep of the best players in the world, usually you're going to have one of those guys end up winning. And apologies on the left-hand side, the official Golf World Ranking numbers is not correct. I forgot to update that. Clearly in this graphic, Rory is not number 5. Rory is higher than that. So regardless, the strokes gain numbers are accurate. Scottie clearly been the most consistent player, although T25 last week, I mean, that's basically like 3 missed cuts in a row for that guy. So who knows? But I will say this when it comes to Scottie Scheffler, because I did a little deep dive on him, and we all know how good he's been for so long. There's been, in his last 47 rounds, right? 47 rounds. That goes back to 2022. He's the tie for 25th. There's only been 3 other times he's finished worse than that. So that was his 4th worst finish in 47 starts, Andy. And each of the 3 previous times that he finished, let's say, outside the top 25, the very next tournament, he went win, second.
Wow.
Don't be hung up on this guy having a bad week. And really, it wasn't a bad week. I mean, I say that because I had a bet on Scottie for a top 10. He made the turn on Sunday, 4 under par, sitting 3rd place, shooting up the leaderboard. I'm like, oh man, he's going to make a run for it. Missed a 4-footer and 9. Had a couple back-to-back bogeys on, I think, either 11 and 12 or 12 or 13. And it kind of, I don't know if it was just one of those like, there goes my chance. And he didn't, I don't want to say he didn't care, but I almost feel like it's win or bust at this point for Scottie, and I wonder if he almost plays that way. So he kind of fell off, and then I don't know that he put in his best effort those last 9 holes, shot 5 over on the back 9 and to fall all the way for tie for 25th. So he was up there until the last 9 holes, so I'm not putting a lot into that. But regardless, he's the one everybody's chasing. Rory, of course, won a couple weeks ago at Pebble. Hideki, also a winner this year as well. So the top 3 guys are who you're chasing. Morikawa, steady as they come. Ludwig, I don't know what to make of him, Andy, with his illness and then a withdrawal. So I haven't really dove deep on him yet to know where he stands and I'm assuming he's back healthy, but I guess we'll find out. But the other guys here I put on the notables at the bottom are guys that were just outside the top 10, but have been playing very, very well in recent months. Lowry playing well. Taylor Pendrith on just a top 20 run. Under the radar, except for I guess guys like us that like to do this sort of thing. So this is your top 10. If you look at the red line below the green, 80% of them have ranked in the top 25. This only shows the top 10. So even if you go a little deeper than this, let's call them long shots. I don't think you're going down into guys like where Dietrich would have been ranked last week. I think that's just probably pushing it to find your outright. But that's your top 10 for this week. I think our winner probably comes from this graphic once again.
Russell Henley's going to have really bad time.
Anomalies of like the guy that was like really good for 8 months in the last 3 or 4. You're like, hey, what happened to him? So yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, I will say this about Russell Henley. I watched him play really good in the rain. There was that year at the Masters where the Masters was terrible weather, and he was just hit the fairway, hit it on the green, take your par, walk off. This course feels way too long for him when it's going to be this wet. So we'll see. So, all right, there's your top 10. Favorite hole. I went over this a few weeks ago, so we'll just go over. I love this 3rd hole. Just a cool view. It's a short par 3. They got that huge bunker in the front. You can't go long, can't go to the left. Sometimes you'll see guys bail out to the right a little bit, but it's just a cool looking short par 3. And then 18th hole, par 5, 545 yards. I love this finishing hole, Nick. It's a very challenging hole. Fairway's not too narrow. You got these bunkers in the fairway that are in play. The rough is brutal. If you hit it in the rough or the bunker, you have almost no chance of going for it in 2. Even if you put it in the fairway this week, you may not have a chance to go for this thing in 2. So, and then you see the green. Love the green. It's protected with that water in front. Bunkers are the left bunker seems to get maybe a little bit less than the right bunker because guys are trying to avoid that water. And this week, I think you're going to see a lot of layups. So I think you're going to see a lot of wedges coming in from 90, 100 yards out. I think it's a really cool. It's straight, but there's just all kinds of challenges for it. And wherever they put the pin, it makes just the second shot, or it makes your approach shot completely different because of the contours of the green. I think it's pretty cool. I give it a 7.1 out of 10. Big fan of this as a closing hole on the course.
If you don't hit the fairway there, Andy, you're there's no chance.
Yeah, I mean, you don't hit the fairway. I mean, it's bogey. You might be looking at a bogey if you.
What's cool about that hole is to get on property, like when they're doing this event, I went to this event, the Farmers a few years ago, and you walk on that's right where you enter the property, is right.
Oh,
there,
really?
Right on the 18th fairway. So it's like, boom, you're just right there on the 18th hole. And I was very intimidated when I saw that. I'm like, ooh, the rough was thick. I'm like, that looks not fun up there trying to hit that green. I just kept moseying.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. This looks too intimidating for me.
It's a brute, man. It's a tough one. So, all right, those are the 18 holes. All right, Nick, your favorite. We're gonna give a long shot. And we're gonna give a little favorite here. So talk to us about Morikawa.
Yeah, I'm going to try to stick with that theme this year. I mean, generally, it's good to spread your money out a little bit and give a couple of guys that are in the mid-range long shot some love. And of course, you can't bet all the favorites, but you can usually pick one of them. And Morikawa is the guy I kind of like this week. A lot of it has to do with price. You got Scottie at 4-1. You got Rory at 7-1. So not great numbers there. And listen, nobody's going to be surprised if either of those two win. Morikawa, he's on a win drought. So we'll start there. He's desperately, in need of a win. It's been a couple seasons now. Well, actually not a couple seasons, but he did get the win. What was it? The Zozo in the fall. So I guess it's there, but
okay.
But it feels like he's in need of a win. He's not really talked about all that much. And he did miss the cut here. I'll start with that in his last start. That was wasn't this year. It was in the 2024 Farmers Insurance Open. He didn't play this year, but aside from that blip on the radar, he had a solo third here at the Farmers in 2023, and he had a tie for fourth when Torrey hosted the U.S. Open in 2021. And I bring that up because I feel like it's going to play more like that type of a venue than anything else this week. Again, we kind of hit on that at the beginning, but it just proves that Collin's usual pedigree of plodding around the golf course, hitting fairways, hitting greens is certainly going to play around Torrey Pines. While it's obviously early in the season, I do want to say Morikawa leads the tour so far this year. He's the only player hitting over 80% of greens in regulation. He also leads in strokes gained tee to green. And in that category, the last 5 years, you want to talk about consistency, maybe Scottie. I didn't look at Scottie, but maybe Scottie's a little higher. But his last 5 years results in strokes gained tee to green was 11th, 4th, 17th, 2nd, 5th. So no worse than 17th in 5 straight years. And he leads again already this year. So the guy, gets the ball to the hole, struggles sometimes around the greens if he misses, and the putter can be hot or cold. And with the rough looking as dangerous as it does look this week, listen, I'm going with a long-term numbers play here, right? We got 72 holes. If you can get a guy that is avoiding the rough, let's just say 1.5 to 2 times less per round than the field, you're talking about 6, 7, 8 times, maybe a few more, over 72 holes that he's not hitting out of the rough from irons to the greens, that adds up. Those are the differences between 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes over the course of a round. And why not take the guy that's just, there's no guarantee in golf, but likely to be in the rough less than the rest of them. So driving accuracy, he ranks 2nd this season after ranking in the top 10 in 3 of the last 4 years in that category. Again, he's not going to have big misses. He should avoid big numbers because of that. And in a U.S. Open type of environment, we know the key to winning these things is avoid the big numbers. I think he'll do that. I think he presents pretty good value at his price compared to some of the other favorites. So I like Morikawa as my favorite this week.
Love it, Nick. We got a bunch of great things going on over at WagerTalk. Go and tell everyone what you have up WagerTalk.com on your profile page.
Sure. Right now, the Champions League is UEFA Soccer getting going with the knockout rounds beginning today, Tuesday, February 11th. And that goes until the end of May. So I got a great promo going on right now. You can get the rest of the Champions League season and Europa League season for $149. And as a bonus, you're going to get the rest of the Premier League season as well. So basically all European soccer plays, which is UEFA and Premier League, $149 available right now on my page. I do have plays up for this week already for the Champions League. Had a great knockout round going 22-12, almost 25 units gained in the league phase this season. So looking forward to continuing that run, and it all starts today here on Tuesday. So don't worry, even if you miss this today, there's plenty of soccer left. 149, can't go wrong.
Love it. All right, we are going to move on to players that can trip you up, and yeah, I'm going there. I'm going with Scottie Scheffler.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's not so much just that he hasn't looked, the finishes haven't been there. I'm not too concerned with the 25th last week. I agree with your take that if he's not winning, It's a letdown, and he just lose focus. I mean, how do you double bogey 18?
Yeah, I know.
And not hit it in the water. He didn't even hit it in the water. He double bogeyed it. Here's what I think. He doesn't play this course much. He's played it 4 times. He's finished miscut, 7th and 20th. And he hasn't played here since 2022. So I wonder if he's not a big fan of this course, or he doesn't feel comfortable. He's had some moments of greatness in this season, some pretty incredible shots, but he's also had some pretty uncharacteristic mistakes. He yanked that one drive that he yanked where it ended up under the bush, and he had to, take a penalty. It's just like, man, we haven't seen that from him. And then when I add in the bad weather, I just think that adds a lot of chaos and volatility. Anytime I get chaos and volatility, to me, that makes Scottie Scheffler much, much less valuable as a bet, because you're introducing, elements that could level the playing field. It's just like any other sport. You get bad weather. Sure. There's a lot of weird things at this price. For me, I think he's a pretty easy stay away. So Scheffler is going to be the first player that I think can trip you up. I don't even know if I'm putting him in my seasonal.
Let me add this. If you think by Andy saying trip you up means the guy's going to miss the cut, we're talking a 4-1 winner. So if he finishes outside the top 5, I would say this is a good bet, Andy. That's a trip up.
Yeah. Like with Scheffler, you need a win or a top 5 or top 10. I mean, 25th, he blew all your bets.
Correct.
He didn't even finish in the top 20. Yeah. If you want, so I know people use that as a parlay piece. He didn't even, get that. So I think this might be a nice week to sit back and just relax on Scottie Scheffler. Shane Lowry, I think there's going to be people that go, oh, rainy conditions, Lowry. Listen,
I thought about it for a minute.
runner up at the last tournament, but the previous week he missed the cut at the Farmers, and he's finished outside the top 60 3 out of the last 4 times he's played here. This is not a good course for him, and I think it's because he's not very long off the tee.
Yeah.
And that is just such a big problem in wet conditions. So, I'll take it a step further. Not only will I not be playing anything on him, I'm going to be looking to fade him. I'm going to hope that I get a guy who drives the ball long in a head-to-head matchup with him. I think this is going to be a really, really tough week for guys like Lowry that don't drive the ball very far. So, Lowry's going to be a guy I think is going to be on everyone's radar. I'm going to stay away from him. And then I'm just going right back to Tom Kim. We talked about him last week. Why is he priced so high? And sure enough, outside the top 40. And here we go again. Top 10 player. He's priced as a top 10 player. He finished 7th 2 weeks ago, but 44th, miscut, 65th the other 3 tournaments this year. Never played here. He's 35th in this field in total strokes gained, and he just hasn't been very accurate off the tee. And we talked about the rough. We're not accurate off the tee this week. Good Lord. You're going to cause yourself a complete mess. So, wet conditions, guy that's been pretty inconsistent, never played here. I think this is going to be another bad week for Tom Kim. Honestly, I'm going to be interested with these if they put up individual round scores for the first day. I wonder what they're going to set him at. What are the lines going to be 71.5? Are they going to be daring? Are they going to make you bet on unders? Yeah, because I'm looking at overs. I don't see where the birdies come from.
72. So you're right. I bet we're going to see a lot of 72.5s.
I think you're right. I think that's probably going to be the lines on the individual round scores, 72.5, 71.5, or the books just maybe we'll throw out 70.5 on Scheffler.
I want to see a 67.5 on Scheffler and just way over that thing. They won't do that. But
if they put some of these big name guys at 70.5, I will absolutely be looking to be playing the overs on that one. But anyway, Tom Kim is going to be a guy that I think can trip you up. All right, let's talk about a worthy long shot, Taylor Pendrith. He's been fantastic this season. Absolutely fantastic. I'll get into DraftKings. He's already up to 9,000 in DraftKings. Yeah. Talk about Taylor Pendrith. Why do we like him this week?
Yeah, I don't think this is a surprise for anybody that's been following along this golf season. And maybe by definition, you wouldn't consider him a long shot because he's not 100-1 to win. But in a field of 72, 40-1 is still a pretty good number. I'm going to use this kind of mid-range or long shot as my worthy long shot price for the year. But Pendrith, I have to continue to go back to the well here. He's got a sizzling start to the season. There's no reason in my mind, I think it's not going to continue. He just finished tied for 7th here at the Farmers just that 3 weeks ago. In fact, that's back-to-back top 10s at this venue. Andy, you talked about, some of the guys you were fading this week and how they haven't performed very well here. Torrey is kind of one of those courses where it probably, like Augusta is like the number one course to correlate course history to. I don't know where Torrey technically ranks in that, but I have to believe it's up there in the top 5, and you look at a guy like Tiger Woods, who just absolutely dominated the place. And you see other guys that just either avoid it or don't play well here year in and year out. But back-to-back top 10s is nothing to sniff at for sure. He won the CJ Cup in the Byron Nelson CJ Cup last May. Okay. He's been extremely consistent since then. He missed just one cut. It was the PGA Championship. So in 19 starts, just that one cut missed. In fact, he has 14 top 25 finishes in those 19 starts, including 6 top 10. So he's definitely a guy that, maybe he doesn't win, but you can throw some darts on the leaderboard top 10, top 20, because he has been cashing those left and right. He does much of his damage with the driver. So you mentioned, trying to find somebody long to go in Shane Lowry. Maybe it'll be Taylor. Then there's your bet. This guy smashes driver. He's always been extremely long, but he's finally combining that with better than average accuracy. He ranks 2nd so far this year in strokes gained off the tee and number 1 in ball striking. Yes, it's early. It's February. There's like 6 tournaments. I'm sure that'll change, but just proves that he's been very, very consistent to start this year and going back to last fall. Finally, aside from that tie for 45th at the Sony Open in Hawaii, he's finished no worse than tie for 22nd in his other 10 most recent starts. Again, I like guys that are consistent. I like guys that are playing to the point where they're not playing themselves out of tournaments. I think Pendrith will do that, and I think even if he doesn't necessarily have the best start, I think he'll get 4 rounds, and I think he can climb as the week goes on. So 40-1 to win, maybe. Top 10, plus 330, I think is very, very good value. And then, of course, you can look at the top 20 price as well. But I like Pendrith to cash something for us this week.
Love it. That's your Worley long shot on Taylor Pendrith. Like I said, he's up there in DraftKings, but listen, there's a lot of worse guys that are priced around him. I would take Taylor Pendrith around, take him over Tom Kim. Yep. This week I'd take him over Lowry. So I don't think I would go with Scheffler, but whatever. 5% UFC best bet is up for us. We cashed our 3rd straight MMA 5% best bet, and Nick, it was one to be proud of. We were on an island. Everyone was on the other side. We were on this one side, and those feel great. Yeah, we were on Weili Zhang. So 3-0, perfect this year. Number 1 in MMA profits so far on WagerTalk, and we're doing a site-wide special 30 days for under $8 per day. That's an instant discount that gets all plays. It gets all golf. It gets all NBA. It gets all MMA, NHL. We've got darts plays up for this Thursday already, 2nd week of the Premier League. Take advantage of that. We are still number 1 the last 2 years in profits in all sports. So this is a great time of year. This is where we do a lot of damage. Nick talked about UEFA, and we know the NFL's over. We know college football's over. NBA is coming up on All-Star break. There are plenty of sports out there to take advantage of to build your bankroll. So make sure you take advantage of that. WT.buzz/AL. All right, let's make it to DraftKings Darlings. Nick, we had our best week of the year on DraftKings Darlings. All 3 DraftKings Darlings made the cut, and I put that lineup in a contest of 200, and we finished 13th. So
that's great.
When you get all 3 Darlings to make the cut, you're in good shape. Yeah. Nick Taylor is 6,600. I kind of couldn't believe it. And then I looked at how far he drives the ball. Now, that's why he's 6,600. He does not drive the ball, so this is terrifying. But he is accurate, and at 6,600, I just cannot pass up Nick Taylor. So his approach strokes gained are 6th best in the field. His putting is 10th best in the field. He's made the cut easily in every tournament this year. I just can't pass up 6,600. I may regret it when I see him not being able to.
Did he play here at the Farmers?
I don't think so. I think this was one.
I'm just curious. All right, let me throw
it. Yeah. So, looking for more darlings. Denny McCarthy, 6,800. I'll just take the guy that's made the cut in all 4 tournaments this year. He's finished 16th last week. Hasn't played here in 6 years, so I'm just going to depend on current form. to get there. And I mean, Sam Stevens, 7,600, rinse and repeat. He's been fantastic as the DraftKings Darlings, by far the best Darling that we keep putting in. 5 straight made cuts, second at Torrey Pines 3 weeks ago. He's played here the last 3 years, Nick, second, 43rd, and 13th. So getting a guy like this at 7,600, yeah, absolutely. So the full lineup is on my profile page. We got free article. Nick writes an article for WagerTalk. The full lineup is going to be as a digital download. So just go to my profile page and you'll see it up there. So what do you think about a sprinkle on Scottie to miss the cut?
I don't have it. Nice for that guy. Doesn't miss cuts. What are you, crazy? His bad weeks, like you said, are top 10s.
It feels like so he's had a couple of bad rounds each week in his 2 tournaments.
Yeah.
If that bad round is Thursday or Friday and it's that rainy and that bad,
what is the price? What is the price on him? Is it up yet? Have you seen it? I'm curious.
Here,
5 to 1 to miss the cut. I would go.
Hold on, real quick. I want to see what Scottie Scheffler is.
One of them will cash.
Is to miss what is it? What'd you say?
I said if his cut or if his number is like 5 to 1 to miss the cut, I'm going to bet miss the cut and I'm going to bet outright. Both are probably the same number. And one of them will cash. It's either he'll miss it or he'll win.
One of them will cash. Okay. All right. Let me pull it up here.
By the way, while you're looking up for that, in case you're wondering, the Harris English double, you can get as high as 90 to 1 right now. I'm seeing for him to win again this week, just to throw it out.
Oh, okay. I don't see what the price is. They don't have it up yet on DraftKings, but okay. I don't know if I had the onions to do it either. But man, that would be an all-time call. 5% Scheffler.
That's like a bet. You know, we're making outright bets, right? You might bet $10, $20 or whatever on some of these long shot outrights. That's like a $20 outright long shot play. Scottie Scheffler.
It might be if he gets frustrated in the first round. Wait, they don't even do a cut. This is a no cut.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're cutting to 50. Yeah, so they're 72.
Okay, so they go from 72 to 50
up, and they're cutting to 50. Top 50 in ties, or within 10 of the lead. So it might only be like 15 dudes.
He's not going to. No, he's not.
They are doing a cut.
Okay, well then never mind. That's silly. He's not going to miss the cut on that one. So. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get notified when all of these videos comes out. Ton of breakdown videos, college basketball season, giving you NBA breakdowns, soccer breakdowns, everything to help build your bankroll. So subscribe to the channel. Leave us a comment. Tell us how your betting year is going in golf. I see a lot of chaos, man. I see a lot of weirdness going on. So it's not been a great start for me personally. I normally come out of the gate real strong, and it's been a grind. So we'll see if we can get back on the winning streak. So good luck on your plays, guys, and we'll see everyone later.